I suppose you could say it's business as normal. As the transfer window comes to a close and we wait for transfer deadline day in a couple of days, we are waiting only on one player who is considering a contract from Newcastle. The injury crisis keeps mounting and our 100% record in the league has gone. It is a tough time and I don't have any answers how to deal with this at the moment. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to the Road to Glory Part 11 Season 2 here at Benfica. And in this most difficult of saves, things are still going from bad to worse off the field. But on the field, somehow, things are still going extremely well. And as you can see from the table, we are still top. We have played 16, we have 46 points now. And Porto have played 16 and are 5 points behind us. We are 11 points clear of Braga and 13 points clear of Sporting. So this looks like it is now a two-horse race between Benfica and Porto. And today we will be playing two games. We will be away at Stuttgart in the final game of the Champions League phase, and we will then play Sporting CP in the semi-final of the Allianz Cup. And can we make it to the final? It would be nice if we could at least get to a final. However, with the current injury crisis and the shenanigans going on financially, I very much doubt that we can keep this going much longer. But before we get into what's been happening both on and off the pitch, if you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, you are in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very good stuff that you can see scrolling above me. So let's take a look at what's been happening on the pitch since you were last with us. And when you were last with us, you saw us beating Famalicão by 1-0 in the Portuguese league. Very, very fortunate to win that very late on. And then we beat Rio Ave by 4-0. And then we followed that with a 3-1 victory against Tondela in the Portuguese Cup 6th round. Against Farense away in the league, we won only just by 3-2. But we went away to Ajax in the Champions League and we absolutely thumped them by 4-0. This low block tactic we are using in the Champions League is serving us very well, and teams cannot work out how to beat us, and we are doing extremely well. But following that, it all went wrong away at Braga, and we could only manage a 0-0 draw, and we were under severe pressure, and I had to go very cautious in the second half just to hang on. But hang on we did, and we managed to come away with a 0-0 draw. However, now our 100% record this season has gone. But it does mean we are still unbeaten in the league, and again that's something that we should be proud of given the shenanigans that are going on. In the Champions League, what that means is we are now in 4th place, and a win against Stuttgart will ensure that we finish in the top 8. And finishing in the top 8 would mean a lot because it will buy time and we won't have to play until the beginning of March in the Champions League in the round of the last 16. And our final game will be against Stuttgart, who look to be not the pushovers that they were last season, and they are currently in 12th, and so they will be very keen on securing a win so they can get into the top 8. It is a very big game, but with the injury crisis that we are suffering at the moment, I have to be a little pessimistic. But even not qualifying in the top 8 will be a very good achievement given the shenanigans that have been going on off the field. The other problem that we have, of course, is the major injury crisis that we have been through, and we still have a lot of key players who are currently injured, and it means that it's very difficult to put a first team together. We have a lot of good players who are still out. Samuel Grillo, not an essential player, has a cold and he's only out for a day or so more. Facundo Torres, who is a key player, he is out for another 2 to 4 weeks. He has been out for about 3 weeks already. He twisted his ankle and he is going to be a big miss. He has been already. Rafael Luis, he is not only complaining about the situation here at Benfica and the fact we are not strengthening the squad, but he has got himself injured as well. Originally out for 6 weeks, now expected to be out for another 2 to 4 weeks. And Ferland Mendy has a hip injury, means we have a crisis at left back, and he's expected to be out for between 6 and 9 weeks. And with all these injuries that have gone on through January, and there have been many, many more, and we have some players who are returning, some players who are just getting fit but not fit enough to play, it means that picking a team for Stuttgart and for Sporting has become very difficult indeed. Talking about Rafael Luis, we have to think about what's been going on in terms of the financial shenanigans. And if we look at the moment at the club finances, we are still in the red. And if we look at the financial fair play report, we are now projected to make a loss of £6.19 million, which is about £1.8 million over the allowed loss for the 36-month period. So what we have to do is sell players, and in order to reduce that budget, we do have one player that we are waiting on in terms of going out. We already have lost Ferland Mendy. He is going to join Monaco at the end of the season on a free transfer. He's 34, and I don't think that is going to be a big loss. João Veloso, a young midfielder, he has already agreed to join Mönchengladbach at the end of the season on a free, and there's nothing I could do to keep these players because I have no money to extend their contracts. The big thing that we are waiting on is Hugo Novoa. He is considering a contract from Newcastle, and they have come in with £30 million for him. This will be enough to cover the debt and maybe even bring in a player or two, who knows. But the big problem that I have is Rafael Luis, and he is very, very unhappy about the fact that I have not strengthened the squad. I did make a promise to him when I had 30 million in the bank last September, and I was planning to make transfers before the board took the money off us, but unfortunately the board beat me to it and then halved the amount of money that we had for a wage budget. So I have had no chance to improve the squad. Now, I don't have many options with him. This is one of the things that the game needs to address, because I have no means to talk to him about this. And in real life, players are not stupid, and I could go to them and say, look, I wanted to upgrade the squad as well, but unfortunately we have severe financial problems and the board will not let me spend any money, and I don't have any wage budget. And I think in real life you would have the opportunity to talk to him about that and to explain the position why you can't upgrade the squad. And he could get upset at that point, and that's fine. That could happen. He could say, that's not my problem, I want to leave, and then I could sell him. The unfortunate bit about the game is that they don't give you that chance to go to him before a crisis happens. So I have to now wait until he comes to me saying he's dreadfully unhappy and I've let him down. And then what will happen after the window is shut is I will have to agree to sell him. And with other transfer windows still open, he will probably be sold. I'll have a lot of money in the bank, which the board will then take, and I cannot upgrade the squad again. This is an area of the game that definitely needs updating. These conversations that they've introduced, the private chats, have not been updated in about 3 years, and it's time for them to look at these parts of the game and start sorting this out, because this is a mess. It's an absolute mess I can do nothing about. But one of the options that I have to explore is just selling him. I know he's going to come to me and say, you broke my promise. So if I sell him before the transfer window closes, am I going to get enough money to bring in a decent player to replace him, and a forward possibly to replace Novoa, who is going to be leaving us to Newcastle, I'm pretty sure. These are big decisions I have to make, and I think it's probably play the game against Stuttgart, then make that decision, and then we'll update you as to what has happened, what decision I made, and what became of it. What I cannot afford to do is to have Luis coming to me after the transfer window is shut and saying that now he's very, very upset. He is a leader in the dressing room, and the whole morale will plummet if I don't get rid of him before the transfer window closes. These are terrible, terrible times here at Benfica. I need to find a solution. But first off, we need to go and try and qualify in the top 8 against Stuttgart. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today against Stuttgart is an absolute shambles. And we have Morata and Rodriguez, who have just come into the team again. They're not fully fit. They're recovering from injuries. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to stand up in this game. Bard was not fit at left back. He can only play 45 minutes. So we're going to start with Ivanov. And other players missing include Palacios, who is suspended. We have Mendy injured. Luis in midfield is injured. And Facundo Torres is injured up top. And so what this means is it is a very weakened team, especially in midfield. And if we look at the team, we have Grbic in goal with Injai, Morato, Rodriguez and Ivanov at the back. Gedson Fernandez and Andre Gomes will take up the midfield 2 position, with Sanramat having to come in as the attacking midfielder. And Haig will play on the right wing with Abde on the left wing. Zolis will play up front. I was going to play Navoa, but he is leaving shortly, so there's very little point in involving him in this club anymore. I'm just hoping that we can get out there and get a draw. I think I'm going to go positive because I don't think the defence is good enough to actually defend, and so going defensive or going cautious in our approach is probably not the right way. We have to take the game to them and just hope that we can outscore them. And the game is underway. Stuttgart, of course, as we know, are not the easy opposition that they were last year. We absolutely rolled them over in our first game of the Champions League last year, and we beat them by 6-1. I don't think it's going to be that way this time. We're playing in a positive way. We have to stay positive. But and here are Stuttgart in. They've hit the post, and we're having a warning straight away that this game is not going to be as easy as it was. And unfortunately, we don't have a team that is capable of winning it. And I think the dreams of finishing in the top 8 finish here. We've got so many points in the bag already. Last season, we would have qualified already in the top 8. But it's not to be this season because it's simply not enough. Other teams in the top 8 are performing exceptionally well. And Chelsea, Arsenal, Porto, even Liverpool, Dortmund, they can easily win their games and overtake us and finish in the top 8. It's going to take nothing but a win, I think. Even a draw, I don't think will be enough. But this team is not good enough to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to have a team that's good enough to do anything afterwards. And Stuttgart are controlling the game, and it's not looking very pretty, and we are just totally out of it. Good tackle, though, but it comes out again. Cross into the box, and they have scored. It's 1-0 to Stuttgart. I'm not going to be annoyed with the boys. There's nothing we can do about this. And we just need to just try our best. And we haven't even had a shot on target. We've had most of the possession, but it's going to be Stuttgart's day. And we are going to finish outside of the top 8. And that is the way that things are going to go. There's nothing I can do. If I don't have a team to play, and then I don't have a team to play. And I'm playing injured players, and we can already see Morato and Rodriguez are really struggling now, losing fitness as the game goes on. It's not good. I'm not enjoying myself here at the moment. We have started to come back into the game, but is it enough? I mean, I've got players on the flanks who are just not good enough, as we saw there, and were easily robbed. And I'm not going to make any changes, I don't think. There's nothing I can do. We're just going to see this game out and see where we are at the end of it. and Stuttgart are just spraying the ball around, and it's very easy for them at the moment. And here's another chance. They are in again. It's 2-0, and we are totally out of this game. And it's just too easy for them. And there's nothing I can do about it. And we will just hopefully see this game out and hope it doesn't last for too much longer. And I don't know what I'm going to do against Sporting in 3 days' time, because I'm in the same boat. I don't have a team. And it is 2-0 to Stuttgart. And I think we have probably slipped down the table. I am going to shout at them and demand more, but for what purpose, I don't know. We have players who are playing here who are not good enough for this level. And we just have to sit back and enjoy Stuttgart playing some great football. And one of the interesting things that we're up against, we're playing these teams at the moment who have no injuries whatsoever. And they all have a clean bill of health. Oh, isn't that strange that we have so many injured players, and the teams we're coming up against us have a clean bill of health. Sporting don't even have one injury, and isn't that strange? And why we are having all the injuries and nobody else is, I don't know. It's just something we have to live with, and it is. At the moment, Stuttgart 2, and we have got a chance and we've scored, but he's going to be given offside, and that I'm not surprised, and that will be disallowed. He was offside. It looked like we were going to get back into the game, but we're not. And yeah, he was offside. And I don't care, because this is just the game winding me up, and it's going to do this all the game, and it's going to do this against Stuttgart. It's just telling me, ha ha ha, you don't have enough players now. I've screwed you over big time, and now the game is enjoying itself at my expense, but I don't care. We're going to remain fairly jovial here as we watch Stuttgart hammer us into the ground. And it remains 2-0 at half-time. I'm going to tell them, I think that I'm just going to tell we're in the position we deserve to be. And look at this, Zollis 6.3, Abde 6.4, Sanramat 6.5. We just simply don't have the team that is capable of doing anything in this game. And we will go into the second half and hope it doesn't last too long. Here is Sanramat, hoping that he can get himself on the score sheet maybe. It's about time he did something. And here is Sanramat looking for a drive, and that's gone straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. And it remains Stuttgart 2, Benfica 0. Oh boy, let's just stay positive. We're still in 7th, but there's so many teams below us who are yet to play, and I don't think they're all going to lose. And it's just one of those unfortunate things. The game has been doing this, and all I have to do is survive until the summer. If we can just win the title, then I'll be happy, and then I will resign. I'm not playing this game anymore of traffic lights in the transfer window, and we have been robbed. I'm going to tell the boys to get stuck in, I think. Just, they already are. Let's go more positive in terms of our press. Let's get in their face a little bit more. But it's still it's 2-0. We're still getting hammered. It's 3-0 now, and that's game over. And I wish there was a fast forward button, because we are absolutely rubbish in this game. I expected it, and I'm not. Why am I not allowed to make any substitutions? What is this game doing? Here is Haig anyway, running up the right wing. Can we get a consolation goal? I'm really annoyed at this game at the moment, as you can tell. And is that a penalty? No, he just jumped over the ball for some reason. And here is Gomes looking for a ball forward, finds Zollis to Gedson looking for Injai. He's not good enough out on that right hand side. Every time he has had the ball, he's had it taken off him. And so we've brought off 4 players who are having dreadful games and put on some very, very young players. I can see that Ivanov is having a very, very poor game. Let's bring Bard on to make the 5th substitution. Both fullbacks absolutely rubbish, and the 2 centre-backs are out on their feet. and we have to play Sporting in a couple of days' time, and we haven't got a chance in that game until we get players fit again. And we will, of course, be losing Novoa, and it's just not very pretty at the moment. Stuttgart have jumped above us. They have gone into 4th place. We're down to 8th. And, of course, we've hit the bar with the free kick, and I wasn't expecting it to go in at all. And we are in 8th place at the moment. We are due tomorrow to drop out of the top 8. It doesn't matter. We're not going to win it anyway. So we'll have to play in the playoffs, and hopefully try to reach the next round. And we should have won that match. Ha ha ha. We should not have won that match. We were absolutely nowhere near anywhere fit enough or good enough to win that match. And being furious, I couldn't have done any more. The team can't do any more. If we're being decimated in this way, then there's nothing I can do. I have to try and put a team together against Sporting now. And I will come back with news of the transfer window before that game. But I don't remain very optimistic about what is going to happen. We'll see you very soon. And the first bit of news that has come in from transfer deadline day is that Newcastle have completed the signing of Spanish striker Hugo Novoa for £30 million. Now what that means is, in terms of our finances, is that we are back in the green. Unfortunately, though, we do have to make amends to the wage budget, and we will do that. We're spending 1552, so we have to get this wage budget down quite a bit. And if we go to 16, that will leave us with £15 million. I'm going to confirm that. That will make it a lot better for us in terms of the wage budget, but we still have £15 million to spend. Now, I have been looking at a striker. He's not very good. He's young. David Tavares Fernandez. He is very young. He has good finishing. He's got good composure. He's got electric pace. He's not very strong, and he lacks mentals. But he might be the best that I can do in this transfer window. We'll carry on through this transfer window, and we'll be right back. And Newcastle have completed the signing of Rafael Luis for £23.5 million. And so he has gone to Newcastle as well. And hopefully we won't have to play against Newcastle very soon, because they have Novoa and Luis in their team now. In terms of finances, I now have 38 million in the bank. I need to find a midfielder, and I have got one offer out there for Sonny Perkins from West Brom, who has cost in the region of 9.5 million, wants to come here as a star player. He's absolutely rubbish, but he is the best that I could find out there, and this whole save is going downhill as we speak. I've still got £20 million that I could possibly spend, and I need to find a midfielder. We'll be right back. And we have managed to make a couple of signings after those two key players have left. And we did bring in Sonny Perkins. He's going to have to play as an advanced forward. I don't have anywhere else really that I can play him. He is decent, I suppose, and probably a very good player for West Brom or Crystal Palace, but he's not top notch. But I'm hoping that he'll just score a couple of goals, and that some of the teams that we play in the Portuguese league may be to his liking. I hope that that's a good call. I doubt it, though, very much. But the one that I did bring in cost me 50 million, was Samu from Crystal Palace, and he's going to come in as the DLP. Now, he does look like he's a very good player. He's not as good as Luis, who went out, but hopefully, given the league he plays in, he'll be able to do a good job, and that we will be on course to retain the title this season. So we've made a couple of transfers, and it's now time to go and play in the semi-final of the Allianz Cup against Sporting. I think we'll give them a game today, let them make their debut, see how they get on. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today against Sporting in the Allianz Cup semi-final is Alvarez in goal, Grillo, Rodriguez, Fernandez and Bard at the back. Samu makes his debut in midfield with Palacios and Haig, and it's Abde. Perkins will play as the shadow striker with Zollis up front. I've pretty much left it to my assistant. I don't feel that what I'm inputting at the time is making any difference at all. So I've left it to the assistant today, and hopefully we'll come out with a result. I have to trust his judgment. I think everything that I'm doing at the moment isn't working. Time to give my assistant a chance to set things up and see if he can get us into the final. I've set it up with the low block that served us really well in Europe, so hopefully we can hold on and at least come close to them. I think that this is a game we were destined to win. You can't win all the trophies ever, and we are destined to lose this game. And so unless we, by some fluke, manage to win it, and we are losing it as I speak. We're losing it at the moment. Benfica are losing to Sporting. Sporting are the better team. We're coming stronger at the moment, and we are coming back into the game. But overall, we are not looking as good as Sporting. We probably are going to drop down the league as well. And one thing is for sure, I will not be at Benfica at the end of the season. I'm not going to play these silly games the board are playing anymore. Enough's enough. The traffic light system has driven me absolutely nuts. And I'm sure that was a penalty that wasn't given. And there's Fernandez, who's playing as one of the under-21s. And you have to play 2 under-21s in this competition. And so Fernandez is one, and I can't remember who the other one is. Oh, it's Grillo at right back. He's having a decent game. He's not playing that great. Bard is playing absolutely horribly at left back. He has recovered a little bit in the last couple of minutes. I need to be saying our shooting has not been good enough, and we need to do better in the second half. And we need to actually, probably what I need to do is I probably need to work the ball into the box. And if you're going to tell them, if you're going to criticize them, their shooting hasn't been good enough, then you have to do something to give them the opportunity perhaps to shoot more. And it is at the moment still 0-0. It is Sporting who seem to be the better team, and it could go either way. I got a funny feeling though it's going to go the way of Sporting. We've had it all too good, all our own way too much, and in the first half of the season, and it's got to come to an end, and we have to just take this on the chin. But as I was saying, I'm definitely not playing these games anymore. The board have totally wiped me out, and that was a terrible clearance, and this could be the goal. No, well intercepted by Abde. Abde finds Palacios to Bard. And it goes all the way back to Alvarez. Alvarez, who is, of course, the cup goalkeeper. I almost forgot to include him. But luckily, when I handed it over to... That was a terrible, terrible tackle by Bard. He has to come off, I think. Andre Fernandez, that's a poor pass as well. And Bard, just get it up the field. And that's Abde in space. Abde, can you do something? He's a decent player. Can he get it into the box? Yes, he can. Palacios is in, and Palacios has scored. And we have gone a goal ahead. I'm going to come back now and play cautious and just try to see this game out. And Palacios has put us ahead. Is it going to be a fluke victory? Abde running up the left. We do still have 1 or 2 good players left, Abde being one. Palacios being another one. The goalkeeper should have done a lot better. I would not be very pleased with that goalkeeper if it had been my goalkeeper. And at the moment it's still Benfica 1, Sporting CP 0. And I think probably it's time to go and make some changes now. And so we have made some changes. And it is going to be Sporting, though, with a highlight. Sporting looking to get it into the box. Well claimed by Alvarez. Can we hold on to this? It would be really nice if we could hold on to this. If we could just hold on, it would be wonderful. Fernandez finds Samu. Samu to Palacios. He finds Fernandez. Andre Fernandez, the player I found lurking in the affiliate teams. That was a dreadful pass. And we need to pick this ball up. We need to reclaim this ball. That was an absolutely dreadful pass. It looks like Sporting are playing a little bit wider now, and there's a ball into the box and a header, and it's claimed by Alvarez. And I need to shout at this team to wake them up a bit. But we have the substitutions made now, and hopefully we can just hold on. And Rodriguez possibly does need to tight mark their centre forward, but I think we'll just continue. Samu is having a good game on his debut. Perkins didn't have such a good game, but then Samu is a much better player. We are hopefully holding on, and Injai has a chance to get this ball into the box. It's into the box. It's headed clear, but not far enough away. Can we win the rebound? Yes, we can. And here is Injai coming forward. Gives it to Andre Gomes. Injai into the box. What a chance! And we failed to take advantage. It goes out for a corner. It will be our own fault if we don't go through now. It will be down to the fact that we've only scored one goal. We've not been good enough in front of goal. And there's a ball, the corner is swung in, it's headed out, it comes to Abde. Can Abde get a cross in? He's looking for support instead, finds Morata, who's just come on. Morata over the top looking for Zolis, and it is gone back to the goalkeeper. Zolis is having a poor game up front, and this is very odd. That was a very odd highlight, but Mela has won the ball, looks for Abde. Abde finds Zolis. Zolis back to Abde. Abde's having a decent game, I think, and Samu also having a very, very good game. Here's Andre Gomes. He is gone a bit off the boil of late, finds Abde with a chance, and he's put it past the post. It's still 1-0, and can we just hold on now? Shall I go defensive now to hold on to this game? I think we do have a free kick. After this free kick, I'll go to defensive mode. There's a header at the back post. And now let's go defensive. Let's try and hold on to this game. Let's just hold on, boys. And here is Morato. He finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez finds Morato again. Morato looks for Palacios. That's better. Nice football for a change, and that's a good ball to Gomes. Gomes looking for support. There's no one there. Here's Samu, and Samu, could he get into a final? Could he get into a final in his first game? And there's a lovely ball over to Zolis. We've hit the post. It's not going to be the 2-0 cushion that I want. Good tackle there, and Rodriguez comes away with the ball. At least we have our two centre-backs still left, and hopefully they will steer us to the title. Regardless of that, I will not be a Benfica at the end of the season. We have beaten Sporting. We are into the final, and so well done to the lads. I don't remain optimistic about what is going to happen in the second half of the season. It's going to be a tough second half of the season. We have the Champions League coming up in the playoffs. We don't know who we're going to play. Porto coming up in the league. I'm going to play through until the end of February, and then I'll be back at the beginning of March. We'll see where we are then. And that's it for this episode. If you are brand new to the channel and you like to see people suffering, then why not? Subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling up above. I'm not really a happy manager. In the transfer window, I've lost 2 key players and had to bring in 2 players who are nowhere near as good, and one of them cost £50 million and nowhere near as good as the player that we lost. And that's it for this episode. All that remains to be said is stay safe, take care. We'll see you in the next one.